क्रिकेट हो या म्यूचुअल फंड्स, सही फोकस है सबसे जरूरी।
आप खुश हैं कि नहीं?
मार्केट ट्रेंड के बाद
मेरा फ्यूचर
शोर को म्यूट करके अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स में डटे रहने में ही समझदारी है, क्योंकि म्यूचुअल फंड्स सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू क्रिकेट क्रॉनिकल्स विद चंद्रेश। म्यूचुअल फंड सही है प्रेजेंट्स क्रिकेट क्रॉनिकल्स विद चंद्रेश पावर प्ले पे आप सबका स्वागत है। आज हमारे साथ एक खास मेहमान है, नवनीत कृष्णा। नवनीत इज एन ओल्ड फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन। ही इज अ ब्रॉडकास्टर, इज आरसीबी फैन, आरसीबी इंसाइडर, आरसीबी supporter, RCB lover, plus a broadcaster. And Navneet, when they don't win matches, do you sleep well or do you go to sleep grumpy?
Thanks for having me on the show, Chandresh. Good to be here. Good to be chatting with you again, brother. I'm sure we're going to meet soon as well. But if I'm born and bred RCB and it's in the full body, right? So obviously disappointed when they lose a match. It's ecstasy when they win a match. Do I lose sleep over it? Maybe not, but it's obviously disappointing. But with the way they've been performing over the last couple of seasons, it's been a treat to see. It's an RCB I don't think we've ever seen in 17, 18 years of the IPL, right? So there is a predictability to the way they win matches today. They've set a template for success, and it's incredible to see RCB having this kind of a success rate across 2 seasons now. And regardless of whatever happens this season, they are the team to beat. They're a complete team, batting, bowling, fielding, everything. And so as an RCB fan, this is joy. We've waited a long time for this, right? And that's the beauty about the RCB fans. They will wait it out no matter how long, because the love between this franchise and the fans is a beautiful love affair.
So what was your exact role with RCB when you were with them?
Good question. I was the host of RCB 12th Man TV. Essentially, it's a property on social media which goes out from the official RCB handle on Instagram, Facebook, X, etc. Right? So, what do? We create content for the fans, and I'm sort of the pivot between the fans and the team. So, the voice of the fans, if you will, right? So, we're talking to fans before the match, after the match, and sort of getting their sentiment and how they feel about it. We build up to a game with the fans. The odd occasion, we'll have a chat with a player or the support staff. We give them a sneak peek into the practice session a lot closer than they would otherwise get to see. So a lot of these kind of things, right? It's a property purely for the fans, and it's a little bit of the culture that we've brought from the English Premier League that do it for many years now. So it's getting the fans closer to the team for a franchise where, truth be told, it's the fans that make this franchise so popular, right? So it's sort of that bridge between the fans and the team, and it's a joy to have hosted this for about 6 to 7 years.
So when the team was not winning while you were with RCB, what would the reaction of the fans be? How would you keep your emotions in check being a RCB fan?
Oh man, that is a tough one. So my first year with RCB was 2019. And for everyone watching, it was a dreadful season for RCB. We lost the first 6 matches on the trot. Okay. And so I come out of the stadium and I essentially need to be talking to fans about the game. And I'm always looking for a new word or a synonym for devastated, disappointed, and every other word, because we ran out of words to say, right? Like, it was so bad to start that season. And it was my first time with RCB. But the fans, obviously, sometimes they go back home really disappointed, wondering what in the world is happening. But one win is enough to spark that loyalty again. And they'll come back like nothing's ever happened, right? And that's the beauty of this franchise and the fans. So as a host, it's hard, but we're always optimistic. And we try to bring out the best. As much as the fans express disappointment and frustration, I think we always see the glass half full as an RCB fan. That's what's kept us in good stead. That's what makes us possibly the most loyal fan base there is.
And would you ever get a chance to interact with, say, Mr. Nags, Ramesh Seth, because he's also become like a face of RCB over the years. So would there be a meeting of minds of RCB 12th man and Mr. Nags?
Yeah, yeah, we've done that. We've done videos where 12th man meets Mr. Nags. Listen, Nags has a cult following. And even after 19 years of the league, no other franchise has a character play that role, right? Or a role, or play any character for that matter that has resonated with the fans in the way Mr. Nags has, right? And Danish Seth is just talented in a way that makes him do these characters so seamlessly. So every time Nags and Mr. 12th Man come together, it's a joy. We have a proper laugh. But Nags is a testament that when you invest in social media and you come up with unique ideas, it'll stand the test of time. And I think RCB have always been above the curve when it came to social media content. They realized very early on that this is the way to go. And very simply, it's had every other franchise playing catch up ever since because of the kind of content that RCB have put up. And it's kudos to the team. I play a small role in it, but there's a massive content team behind the scenes that go and really, really put in the long hours every season. I know what they go through. They barely sleep at times, and it is content day in and day out, day in and day out. But that's what makes RCB's content, simply put, the best content in the Indian Premier League.
So what are the different kinds of things you would do? Fan reaction, net session, what else?
Like we said, the odd occasion we would chat with a player, get his opinion, not just on the season, but with what it means with the fans' love, and we'll do even build-ups, not necessarily with fans, but things to watch out for ahead of a game against certain opposition. We'll do a review of the game after the match. We'll do it with fans. We'll do it without the fans. What's also beautiful is we try to cover stories that are very unique, right? We go to parts. I think now it's happening a lot more. Sriram Sulia now does that as the host of RCB 12th Man TV, where they try to pick up unique stories of fans and things that they've done to express their loyalty towards it as well. So a particular video could be the story of just one individual fan, like a super fan or someone who's done pretty crazy things to just show their love for the franchise, right? So we try to dig up stories. And it reminds me of an occasion in 2019 when India were playing the World Cup. And we went as RCB, creating content about the Indian team, but for the RCB handle. So it was unique in a way. No other team was doing that. So everyone there were creating content for Team India, were not from IPL franchises, but we went there. And the kind of stories that we found in the UK across those 45 days, up until the semi final that India went to, was so beautiful in the UK. And it would also mean creating content around stadiums and the history of it, right? And the gas chamber behind the Kia Oval and what it means, for example, or the walk down the aisle at the Lord's Stadium, or a particular RCB fan who's been living in the UK and has done pretty crazy things, right? So we'll go on the streets every day, open to any sort of content, and the stories that we got out were just very, very, very amazing, right? So there is a broad template, but there's also a free hand to go out there and curate stories around fans in essential, right? So that's what it's all about.
So is it fair to say it was the voice of the fans, RCB
Yeah.
12th man,
Yeah.
simply put?
Yes, 100%.
Uh, would you get recognized on the streets as RCB 12th man? And would that be a
Yeah.
sense of validation of the kind of work you've done?
As in, it's always a nice feeling. And that's just because of the love these fans have. It was so beautiful. I'll tell you a couple of stories. The first time it ever happened was in the UK. I think it was, so RCB played Australia in their first match in 2019. if I remember right, it was Southampton. And I had just started working with RCB the season before. And so by then I'd done one season of the IPL and I just went to England for that World Cup to create content. And I would have this little girl from across the street shouting out saying RCB 12th man, RCB 12th man. And she ran across the street and she gave me a warm hug. And this little girl, right? It was so beautiful. And her father came right behind and they took a photo with me. And that was the first instance that I remember. And it was so beautiful. It was in Southampton, right? That was a nice one. I'll tell you a funny one. Okay. This was in Nottingham, I think. Our India versus New Zealand was washed out. And there were a lot of fans outside the India team hotel. And I'd gone there with family and friends also as a vacation, apart from doing work as well. And so we had gone to a tiny restaurant next to the India team hotel to finish lunch. And after that, it was typical English weather. So I had a blazer, a coat on with the hoodie and track pants and stuff like that. And there were a whole bunch of Indian fans outside the hotel. Okay. And then we were walking by and suddenly 2, 3 fans came and said, "Can we have a selfie? Can we have a selfie?" And I was like, "Do you know who I am?" And they said, "Yeah, RCB 12th man." I was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead, take the selfie." The next thing I know, there were at least 50 fans around me. They pushed my wife and my friends aside, like they had no place in the frame. And I was mobbed by about 50 people taking selfies. Okay. So I was like, this is interesting. And then by the end of it all, I overheard 2 fans saying, "Bro, who's that guy? Who's that guy?" And this guy was like, "He's Upul Taranga, opening batsman for Sri Lanka." So I've had pretty crazy instances, but yeah, many times in Bangalore, restaurants, cafes, you're walking on the street, obviously at the stadium, you'll have a lot of fans recognize and show the love for 12th Man TV content and me. So that means a lot. It's a special feeling.
And with the players, did you develop a bond? Because they've had so many players over the years.
Yeah, come and go. Of course, a bond with many of them, right? From Yuzi, Siraj, Navdeep. I've had an odd interaction with Virat or AB de Villiers when he was around. And a lot of players that obviously Devdutt Padikkal, some of the Bangalore boys, a lot closer that I know. You get that opportunity because of the platform and because you're representing the franchise that you spend time with the players as well. And that's always a special feeling too. Um, yeah, and as a broadcaster, RCB, JioHotstar, etc., you end up spending a lot of time with current stars, former stars, and for a kid growing up as just a cricket fan like you and me and million other kids, it's a privilege, right? To be rubbing shoulders alongside some of the biggest names in cricket and talking cricket. It was once a dream for me when I spent 10 years in Google. I said, maybe someday I'll do this. And now to be able to do this is a feeling that I can't describe. It's a joy. My dream was to do this. And today that work is a dream. So when I do work, it doesn't feel like work. And touch wood, I hope it always stays that way.
So it was a nice way for you to finish up with RCB, with them winning the title. So you're leaving on a high.
100%. Man, it was a high like no other. For 18 years, we had to wait it out, wait it out, wait it out. But when that feeling came, it was beyond special. It was a little unfortunate about what happened the day after. Maybe that's for a different conversation, but we'll never forget what happened the day after. But purely from a cricket point of view, uh, I just feel it's the start of a new era, Chandresh. I think there is the changing of the guards in some sense in the Indian Premier League. For a long time, we've had 2 to 3 teams dominate the league. I just get the sense that there's a change in the powers that be, if you will, in terms of who will dominate the next maybe decade of the IPL. And as in, I may be completely wrong, but I'm optimistic about what RCB will do now that they've got the monkey off their back, right? So they will play knowing that they are champions. And the way they're playing this season is exactly that. That's why they're at the top of the table as well, right? So it's a special feeling. And something tells me that it's a feeling that we will get to feel many times going forward.
Tell me honestly, how many times have your friends or people you know ripped you about RCB's luck in the IPL before they won the title?
Luck
Yeah, or bad
or,
luck,
or
or
lack
bad
of
luck,
it.
or lack of it. Yeah, yeah.
As an RCB fan, you're always on the receiving end of trolls and memes and whatnot, right? And that too by virtue of being the 12th man. Every time I would express my opinion, there are a lot of other fans that have so many things to say, right? Because I'm always going to be pro RCB. That is without a doubt, right? Regardless of whether they win or lose. So it's always been tricky as an RCB fan. Being an RCB fan, when nothing came our way for that long. But think of it, dude. For a team that won nothing at all, how did they turn out to be the most popular franchise in the league? The biggest fan base, the most loyal fan base. That means there was something else that made this franchise stick, right? And you can't articulate what that is. But why does an RCB game today get more viewership than any other game? The numbers suggest it, right? Because there is not just the brand of cricket or the flamboyance, but there is something about the love for this franchise, not just in Karnataka, but across the country and overseas, that get people to watch an RCB game without fail, whether you're an RCB fan or not. And that's why they are the most popular franchise.
Yeah, you can understand for Chennai Super Kings, you could have some base in Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Singapore, Canada, because of the expat Tamil population, Tamil speaking population. Similarly with KKR as well, because of Shah Rukh Khan and because of the Bengali population, say in Bangladesh or elsewhere. But Karnataka, because Andhra exports the most tech guys out to the west. So for Karnataka team to have that kind of aura or fan base is amazing, isn't it?
Of course, one is the franchise, and two is a man whose loyalty is equivalent to the loyalty of the fans. And arguably the biggest name and brand there is in the sport. Virat's presence is testament to RCB's fan base, right? Um, and it goes hand in hand. Is arguably the biggest brand in the country in the sport, right? And by virtue of him being there, and by virtue of many other names, AB, Chris, we've had some of the biggest icons play for RCB, right? And very soon, if you realize, the fans make some of these players their own, and it's beautiful to a point that they almost don't feel at home when they play for other franchises after experiencing life at RCB, right? And Devdutt Padikkal, like, wasn't his best when he played for some of the other franchises, but he was brilliant when he played before. And at the moment, I think we're seeing the best of Devdutt. And he feels at home, at least from my point of view. Like, it's different what they have to say, but from a fan point of view, a lot of players get love that they've never gotten before when they play for RCB. And that is also what makes it a two-way relationship, right? So even if you're sitting in the Bay Area in the US, you're in Europe, you're glued in because one, because of the players, two, because of the popularity, and three, because the fans themselves associate with this. And it's also a little more of a, do I say, a cosmopolitan following. That means that it's pan India and it's across the world as well. And it's not necessarily restricted to a particular zone in the country.
Yeah. So in that sense, was it difficult for you to say goodbye to RCB?
I've, I don't think I've
No,
ever.
I'm not saying you've not given up on RCB, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying that you're no longer the 12th man.
Yeah.
You're the fourth umpire now.
I'm not doing 12th man TV at the moment for about a year. That's because I'm doing more with the broadcaster JioHotstar, and that was a progression that I was looking forward to, and I'm grateful for that. But I don't think I've said goodbye to RCB, and I think I'll continue to be associated in some form or the other. Right.
Yeah.
So working with that team feels like I'm very much a part of that team. So that door is never shut. And A big thank you to RCB and the platform they've provided for me. I'm forever grateful. Uh, I'll always be known in at least in the industry as RCB 12th Man TV, and that's because of the fans, right? And the platform that RCB gave. So I don't think that door will ever be shut, and I'll always want to be continued with the franchise.
Yeah, I must tell everybody that whenever he puts up a video on Instagram, I immediately comment that it's conflict of interest. Uh, because
It's a little bit of a conflict of interest as a broadcaster, but it's absolutely no conflict of interest as an RCB fan. So I can do that on my social handles. I can't necessarily do that on broadcast.
so when you're on Hotstar, JioHotstar, Star as well, how difficult or easy is it to keep you away from the whole thing and focus only on the match per se?
Uh, I have to keep that in mind. I think I bring an element of myself where fans know that I'm an RCB fan, and I'm in the industry known as the RCB 12th Man TV, right? So there's no hiding there. So obviously, I'll express a little bit of my love, and I don't know if bias is the right word, but just my loyalty towards RCB. But as a broadcaster, you want to stay neutral. So for the most part, I'm neutral, but there will be elements in a show where where the fans will know that I'm obviously from Bangalore and I'm RCB fan. Even with Kabaddi too, I almost play the character of of a Bengaluru Bulls fan because I'm not hiding that. I'm just my full self, and in a way, it brings that character out even in commentary and for different stories and all that, right? So while it's nice to add that element of who you are, you also want to make sure that you're neutral for the most part because that's what because the audience itself is pan India.
And the Bangalore boys or the Karnataka boys in the Geo Hotstar team, as in say it's Anil or Robbie or so on and so forth. Do you guys like bond over RCB or Bengaluru or what is it?
As in, there are different, lots of former players, some of them who still play a little bit of cricket, that are part of the Kannada broadcast team that I obviously spend a lot of time with, and we talk a lot about Karnataka cricket and RCB, right? So that is always there. I spend more time with some of the junior cricketers, maybe not so much with the likes of Anil sir or Venki sir or anyone for that matter, but a lot more with the panel that is there on Geo Hotstar, right? Srinivas Murthy, Bharat Chipli, and Sumesh Shashank, a lot of them, right? A lot of pretty much the entire Kannada broadcast team. I spend a lot of time with them because they're all from here, they're all RCB fans, and obviously that association is there. Although I am completely an English broadcaster, where most of my colleagues in the English space and Hindi space are not necessarily RCB fans, they could be fans of other teams, but primarily neutral broadcasters.
Yeah, obviously. Navneeth, thanks a lot for your valuable time. I really appreciate it. And we at Cricket Chronicles with Chandresh are always looking forward to having a chat with you again whenever you have time. Thanks a lot for your time. And may long this association with RCB continue for you in every way possible.
And may they long keep winning trophies as well. Thanks
Amen.
a lot, brother. Thanks a lot. It's been wonderful to have a chat. It just feels nice, nostalgic in some way. And I know I'm going to see you pretty soon in a commentary
Yes.
box. So we'll catch up then. But
Yeah.
good to be on the show, brother. Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.